Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Shelby Morrison, senior wrestler from Amarillo, Texas, won the 116-pound title at the Midland Lady Warrior Open. And Shelby, that was your second Open tournament championship in your college career, and you defeated the 9th-ranked individual at your weight in the title match. Tell us the keys to winning that tournament.
I think for our team specifically, we're a point-scoring team, so just staying in good position and looking for ways to score, whether it was off of my shot or off of her shot, just constantly looking to gain points.
You're a 2-time All-American, have been a part of 2 national runner-up teams. What are your expectations for your senior year?
I think every year that I've been on this team, we've had the ability and the talent to be able to win the tournament, but we freeze at the end. I think as a senior, your perspective changes from when you were a freshman, sophomore, junior. So it comes senior year and you still haven't had a national title on a team that's the only reason mainly that you came to this program was to win a national title. And you get really fired up and you expect a lot from your teammates, especially the girls that are a little bit older. You just expect a lot from them and that we can really pull this national title off this year.
What international events have you competed in, and how has that experience helped you?
I haven't really been. We went to Canada my freshman year, and then we had an international tournament that we go to every year here. That's in Colorado Springs. So they wrestle a lot differently than girls from the U.S. So it's kind of neat getting to see how each wrestler wrestles differently, and it's just a change of pace, and it's good experience for anyone.
You were undefeated in high school, 4 state championships. Tell us how you got to that benchmark.
I began wrestling when I was 8 years old, and I did a lot of club wrestling with boys. So I was used to high-paced practices and learning a lot of technique and perfecting technique. And so I think going into high school, it was just pulling from that technique that I had learned and making sure that I was wrestling hard every match. It was kind of like an expectation, even in 8th grade, going into my 9th grade year, that I was supposed to win 4 state titles. You know, everybody kind of decided that for me. So I kind of always had that in the back of my mind, and going into senior year was a little tougher, trying to keep that undefeated title as well as my 4th state title. But I don't know, somehow I pulled it off.
You and several of your teammates come from West Texas. Why did you choose OCU, and why do you think a lot of players from that area choose OCU?
Personally, I always had my eye on OCU. I didn't have any offers from any other school. So for me, it was just kind of, I knew a lot of the girls that had wrestled. I had grown up watching, you know, a lot of the alumni wrestling, and I had wrestled with a lot of them as well. And so it was just, I liked their pace. I loved the way that they wrestle. I loved their aggressiveness. And I wanted to be a part of the national tournament, like the team that had won so many consecutive titles. So, I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of that? So that was one of my biggest reasons. And then this psychology program here is also really good. So I think that the reason a lot of our girls are from West Texas is because Texas is a big state for women's wrestling, and it's one of the only states that is sanctioned to where girls can wrestle other girls. And it's building, especially in the Panhandle. So I think I'm the only one from West Texas. A lot of the girls are from El Paso, but I think just Texas in general just breeds a lot of really good girls.
You mentioned you're a psychology major. What are your career plans following college?
I'm actually planning on going to graduate school. There's not a whole lot you can do with a bachelor's in psych. So I'm going to go to grad school and get my degree in psychology, possibly clinical psychology, and work with abused kids.
All right, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Shelby Morrison. You can follow the Stars Wrestling team on OCUsports.com.
There's a call to be answered. the spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at naia.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to new men's basketball coach Vinay Patel, who recently took over the program. And Coach, tell us what drew you here to OCU.
You know, one of the probably biggest thing is I've been doing this for a little while now, and a lot of these small college jobs are in such rural towns. But Oklahoma City University is in Oklahoma City, and I love the fact that it was in a good city. Obviously, the winning tradition here is bar none. I mean, 59 national championships amongst all sports is incredible. It's a great recruiting place as far as a beautiful campus here, a great city to recruit to, a lot of things to do. So there's a ton of things that attracted me to this job. To just say one would be really difficult to say.
You were most recently assistant at Rogers State in Claremore. You've been at West Texas A&M. You were the interim head coach there at West Texas for a spell. Tell us what that has done to prepare you for this job.
You know, it helped mold me as a coach, really, especially majority of my time at West Texas. I worked for a Hall of Fame coach there, Rick Cooper, who's known in this part of the country for his defensive intensity. And so that's really helped mold me, and I had a chance to work under Coach Krista Gerlich, who's also now the head coach at UTA, Texas Arlington, and then Justin Barkley at Rogers State. So I've worked for some really good coaches, and that's really helped push me along and prepare me to lead my own program.
And what style of play can we expect to see from your teams?
I like up-tempo basketball. I want to move the ball up and down the floor. But something you're really going to see, and I hope people take notice, is our physical play and our defensive intensity. That's something if people take time to research me at all and the teams that I've been fortunate to be a part of, we've been very good defensively, in each place I was at. And so that's something I want to bring here. I want these guys to be able to, get down a stance and defend and be tough. And, if they can do that, then we're still going to get up and down and hopefully score just as many points as we have here in the past.
What do you look for in a prospective student athlete?
There's always a particular need. It really depends, on what openings you have when your senior class departs. So you kind of start from there and kind of see what needs you're going to have for the upcoming year. So you try to fill that void. So obviously talent would be, the first thing is a kid talented enough to fill a void of someone leaving your program, and then from there. There has to be a good fit for this university. I think you got to find somebody that's going to be able to be out in the community, going to be able to talk to students on campus about our program and talk to other people about our program. This is such a great place to be, and you got a chance to be seen. And that's the great thing about college basketball. It's not like football where you're wearing a helmet and people don't know who you are. People are going to know that you're a men's basketball player. So that's big for me, is that they're able to be approached by people, able to communicate well with others, and then they have to be pretty good academically. I don't like dealing with issues on that end of the aspect as well. So just kind of a well-rounded student athlete.
What inspired you to enter coaching as a profession?
It's something I've kind of always wanted to do since I was young. I just knew, obviously, I wasn't big enough to continue playing past high school. But I just knew I wanted to be a college coach, and it's one of those deals where my parents weren't too excited about it initially because they just didn't understand it, and the deeper I got into it when I got my chance to be a part of the program at West Texas A&M, the more they got to where they understood and started supporting me a little bit more on that. But it's just something I really enjoy. I really enjoy the opportunity you get to help impact some of these young people that we deal with. I love seeing kids get their degree. A lot of the kids we deal with, come from families that they'll be the first kid to get their college degree, and I love seeing that because that's going to help them, for their future, and then the percentages go up that their kids are going to get degrees. So I just love the impact of small college basketball and the impact you can have on the lives of these young people.
It seems like every year in college basketball we're talking about rule changes. What are some of the new rule changes we're going to see this year?
Well, we got several this year. You know, it's going to change the game a little bit. I know what they're trying to do, and I understand they really want to see more scoring output is really what one of these changes come from. So, you know, this year we have a lower shot clock. It goes from 35 to 30. So that's going to be quite a bit of a change on the men's side. They've also taken out the 5-second count, closely guarded. So that's going to be an interesting one because you hear a lot of fans yelling 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Well, it's not going to be there anymore. So that'll be interesting. They've removed a timeout, so coaches don't get as many timeouts. And then the last one that's going to make things a little bit more interesting is coaches are not allowed to call timeouts during live play. So it's going to put a little bit more pressure on the kids to call it. So coaches are going to have to do a good job of communicating with their players in order to get a timeout in live play. Now, dead balls, we're still able to call one, but live play, it's going to make things a little bit different.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Talking to OCU basketball coach Vinay Patel. You can follow the Stars on OCUsports.com.